Hello everyone, my name is Jonathan Best. I have been a studio owner under the World Tong Soo Do Association since 2016, and I wanted to make a video for first-time studio owners because I really would have appreciated something like that when I was opening up my own studio. So hopefully you'll learn something from my experiences. Let's get started. The very first thing you want to do if you just get an inkling of wanting to start your own studio is to start saving money. I knew I wanted to start a studio back when I was 16 years old. I didn't save the money, didn't know what course that meant for me. I could have taken over my instructor studio. That ended up not happening. I ended up moving and starting one somewhere else. I would have been much better off if I would have started saving money right when I knew I wanted to open one. So if you even have an inkling that you want to start a studio, start saving your money right now. When you're looking for a location, don't just settle on the first thing you find. Take your time looking around for locations, find the value per square foot of wherever you're getting. The best case scenario would be to find a place like a gym or a health center or somewhere that has a room that you can use and they take some of your profits, like you split it 50-50 or whatever ratio you feel comfortable with. That is the best way to go about it, because when you do that, then the gym or the building that you're operating out of has incentive for your class to grow. That way, when you make more money, they make more money, everyone's making more money. That's the best way to go about it. It's really hard to find relationships like that in business. Most of the time, people just want you to pay so much per room, that's it, right? So, but if you can find a situation like that, that's the best kind of situation. If not, do the best that you feel is for you. Don't blow all your money at once. Don't be like, oh, I'm $1,000 in the hole this month, but I'm gonna get 12 students this month and then you'll be fine. It's not gonna work like that. It's gonna be slow. It's a very slow process. Do what you can do right now, and then you can continue to grow as you move forward. Let's say you get a studio. You are running your classes, but something happens and that doesn't work out, right? It happened to me. It happens to every studio owner. Sometimes things just don't work out. And so if you fail, that's not the end. That's very important to know. I know that failure can seem like that's over, hang it up. It's not. It's only over when you stop. There's several times over my 6 years as a studio owner where I have been in the park practicing, training twice a week with my students, or just training by myself. But as long as you keep training and you keep pushing forward, the students will come and your studio will continue. I know sometimes it feels like you're not getting anywhere. I felt that myself, but perseverance is key. So even if you feel like you've hit the end, as long as you keep going, you find a space in a public area, go to a park, go anywhere, continue your training. Even if you don't have students at that time, continue what you're doing. People will come and your studio will continue. This isn't on here, but I'm going to say it anyways. Value yourself. It's important to know your value. People aren't just paying you to train them, they're paying you for your experience as a martial artist as well. I was a martial artist since I was 13 years old, and when I first started, I very much undervalued myself, and that's one of the main reasons why the first location that I was at ended up not working out. Don't undervalue yourself. Make sure you take into account your experience, the time you've put in as a martial artist that you can now share with your students, the equipment that you've bought, the price it takes to rent the space that you're using, all of this stuff. I know sometimes it feels hard to charge people. I still probably should charge more than I do, but make sure you're not undercutting yourself. Give yourself enough money to be able to survive as a business. It is a business, even though it is a business of love, and I understand not wanting it to be about the money, it still is a business and treat it as such. Speaking of money, the best thing you can do with your money is have a website. I pay $14 a month through Squarespace, and I have a website. It's the best money I've spent. Having a website is the number one point of contact I've had with most of my students. How I gain most of my students is by people going on Google, looking up martial arts studios in the area, finding my website, liking what they see, signing up for a free class, and getting them in the door. That is how I get most of my student base. On your website, be sure to have a form that people can fill out if they have questions or if they want to sign up for a free class. Once you have them signed up for a free class, get together with them and set a date. Okay? Back when I first made my website, when people reached out to me, I was like, yeah, we're open Tuesdays, Thursdays, this time. Whenever you're ready, come in, we'll get you a free class, da-da-da. That doesn't work because people procrastinate. People are prolific procrastinators. They will never come in. They'll say, oh, I'll come in on Thursday, and then Thursday comes, they're like, oh, I'll do it next week, and then next week never comes, right? So whenever someone reaches out with interest to start at your studio, reach back out to them, set a date. Say, what day would you like to start your free trial class? Okay, so I'm gonna pencil you in for August the 24th. Boom. And that way they know there's an expectation for them to show up on August the 24th. Doing that has helped me out so much with people actually showing up. It was like 25% of people who reached out would actually show up before. Once I started saying I'll pencil you in for this date, I'll have the paperwork ready for you on this date, come in. Once I started doing that, it's like 80% of people show up. Okay, so it's really skyrocketed that process, so be sure to do that. Depending on how much money you have, you may want to do an advertising budget. Be very careful with your advertising budget, where you spend it. I honestly don't think you need to spend a ton of money on advertising if you're starting out. I didn't, and I don't really see the need to. Right now, I have Google Ads, which I spend anywhere between $70 and $130 a month on to promote my business on Google, and honestly I could walk away from that and it'd be fine. Be careful where you put your ad dollars. I want to warn you against Facebook, because I used Facebook and I had an advertisement where people would click on it and it would send them to a form on my website to sign up for a free class. So the advertisement said, click here for a free class. They click on it and then there's a form they fill out to get their free class, just like there is on the website. Facebook was telling me that this ad was getting thousands of clicks, but I had no one filling out the form. 0 people fill out the form. Thousands of clicks, no one filling out the form? I don't think so. It just didn't seem right to me. Plus, Facebook's been caught lying about their analytics in the past. I just think it's iffy. I would warn against it. What I do say for people starting out, and really just any martial arts studio owners in general, is cost-effective advertising. Flyers. I know it seems silly, but it's really true. I'm lucky enough to have access to a printer and paper that I can use, and I print out new flyers at least 4 times a year and put them up around town. I mainly go to local businesses. Local businesses tend to be more empathetic towards your struggle. Most local businesses understand what it's like to be starting out, so they're more likely to help you out. Be sure to help them out in return. Ask them if there's anything you can do for them. If you have a space that you can put up, business cards for them or a pamphlet for them or whatever, see if you can trade with them. Work with your local businesses, because they're the ones who are going to help you out, and if you help them out in return, they'll appreciate it. So also a good way to be cost effective is to buy some merch for yourself. I have some Best Academy shirts, hats, and a jacket. Anytime I get the opportunity, if I know I'm going to be going out in public, if I know there's a lot of people around, I'm going to be wearing Best Academy merch, because when people see me, I want them to go, oh, there's that Best Academy guy. That's what I want to be known as in my community, right? So if people start recognizing you as the karate studio owner guy, then anytime anyone has a question about, oh, my kids are interested, people will start pointing at you. So buy yourself some merch, wear it out, make sure you're seen in that. Another great advertising strategy is doing things for the community, nonprofit events. I did an event called Power for Pets. It's several years going. I plan on continuing it into the future, but all it is a self-defense clinic that I put on. It's about 2 hours long, and there's a sign-up fee, and that fee goes directly to the Columbus Lowndes Humane Society. So they get 100% of the profit. You're doing something good for a nonprofit in your area, and that nonprofit's going to get your name out because they want people to show up to your event so they get paid, right? So try and find ways like that you can synergize and work with people who want you to succeed so they can succeed, right? And then on top of that, if you're doing something for nonprofit like Power for Pets, or any local nonprofits that you want to work with, reach out to local television and radio. They're gonna be happy to work with you as well. Get the word out for you and say, hey, this nonprofit's coming up, because I work in radio, so I understand that they need nonprofit events that they can talk about. They have a quota they have to hit, so they'll be happy to work with you and get the word out for you as well. Give your students some incentive for recruiting new members. What I do is any of my students recruit a new student. If the new student pays their first full month, the recruiter gets that month for free. So I'm not losing any money. I've gotten a new student going into the future. I've got a new student and I haven't lost any money, and they don't have to pay tuition for a month. So everybody wins, right? Your studio grows, they get a month off, and you haven't lost any money. So that's what I do personally. Find something that works for you. Find an incentive that incentivizes your students to bring you up in conversation when they're out and bring in more students for you. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about today is burnout. I've been doing this for a long time, and I can tell you, especially if you have a full-time job on top of your studio ownership, you will experience burnout. It's a lot of work. You're going to be working every day. Give yourself some time to rest and relax sometimes, but make sure that you do something productive every day. It doesn't have to be huge. It can be posting something to social media. It can be designing a flyer. It can be preparing classes, like writing out your next week's classes and having it prepared for what you're going to do. Anything like that. Preparing for your next GUP test. Anything. Just make sure you're at least doing something every day. Every day needs to be productive in some manner. It doesn't have to be huge, but if you step away from it too far, you're not growing, right? And you want to continue to grow. Stay productive every day. Give yourself a little time to relax and try to minimize burnout as much as possible. That's what I have for you today. If you're a studio owner, do you agree with what I said? Do you disagree? Let me know. If you're anybody else, let me know what you think as well. Comments below. I'll be happy to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching Best Academy Martial Arts on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe for more martial arts content, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.